You gotta go home, once in a while. You gotta go home and pour yourself some spit out first up on the microphone.
Oh shit, who's that having a fit? Yo, it's your mom with a crack pipe taking a hit. Girls got more rock than fucking Alcatraz. Friggin' eating up trees like the devil jazz. Yo, lyrical harassment, I blast it out of speakers.
Yo, we're back with a special evening edition of the Geoff and Didi podcast.
I find that things are the most intellectual in the evening.
They're also the most sensuous.
Sensuous, sensual, sexual.
So, direct.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Here we are. It's a Sunday today, Sunday night.
Yeah.
We got the work week ahead of us.
Mm-hmm. We're excited about that, aren't we?
Well, I'm not, no.
No.
I'm not. Are you? You might be.
I'm excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a cool day, but other than that, I think might be kind of a boring week.
In your case, why are you excited about tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm going up to Port Angeles to interview a couple people on a Department of Health thing. Yeah. Should be interesting stuff, and
That's a trek.
it's a trek, and I actually am excited to go up there. I haven't been to Port Angeles in a long time. You ever been to Port Angeles?
Yes.
That's cool.
Strangely enough, my father's from there.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, that's, like, he called that home. I think we actually spread some of his ashes out there, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that's, small town and everything, and we used to go up there. He was the new kid at school when he went to Wilson High School in Tacoma.
Oh, okay.
But prior to that, he was in Port, so he was a small town kid.
I bet your dad was really popular
Good question.
at Wilson.
Good question. I don't know. I think maybe kind of in the middle,
Oh. Huh.
I don't know. I don't think he was.
You don't think he was homecoming king?
No.
You
As
think-
a matter of fact, I know he wasn't because I know that the people that live at my mom's beach house and the people that live in the parcel of land in front and to the left of her were the homecoming king and queen the year she graduated.
Huh.
So the kind of a bizarre coincidence.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not an interesting story.
No, not especially.
No.
But I didn't really set you up very well.
No, no, that's okay. Yeah.
And sometimes when you don't get set up, you just have to do it on your own.
Sometimes if you get set up, you got to take the fall. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I learned that back in my 1977 street cop days.
Oh yeah. Popularity, man. What do you think makes a person popular? You think if we could boil it down to 5 different aspects of a person's personality, what would make somebody popular? First of all, I think confidence.
I think that is number one. I think
Confidence
that's in order.
is number one. I think you have to portray confidence and a winning attitude everywhere you go.
You're talking that's kind of like 1B, or it's wrapped up into confidence.
Winning attitude is part of confidence.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say that I disagree that that's in the top 5.
No. Winning attitude is only a subset of confidence.
Okay. While not necessarily number 2, because confidence is much more important, and I think there's probably other things, but attractiveness is probably in the top 5.
Example of an attractive leader or attractive
popular person. Oh, just
John F. Kennedy.
It'd be easier to find. It would be much more difficult to try to name a unattractive popular person.
Oh, yeah. Dale Chihuly?
Yeah. Well, and I would. Yeah.
He's cult popular, I guess.
Yeah.
He has a following, but he's no Barack Obama or Chris Rock.
No, it's racist that you grouped
Yeah,
those two
I know.
together.
I immediately gravitated toward that. So we have attractive, we have confident, maybe inspirational.
No,
I know, inspirational is another
popularity. Well, affability maybe.
Okay.
affability, and maybe that's a trick because maybe that just means popular. But friendliness,
friendly.
yeah, yeah, likability,
yeah,
yeah.
Okay. Number 4, you got to pull bitches.
Well, I was going to say, and of course, I think that's what happens when you are popular.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that contributes to your popularity.
It's secular.
Yeah.
Like that. No, but, I think I was going to say individualism.
Okay.
Okay. Someone who's popular stands out.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, you might be confusing what we call the popular kids.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying that I think sometimes a popular I agree to an extent, but I think sometimes a popular person does what is the status quo the best.
Well, in that sense, they stand out, I think. I mean, there has to be a certain distinction. And it might be that you're the best at it, something.
Yeah.
That might be the distinction.
Mm-hmm.
But, one has, they stand out because there was, you remember, you remember the popular guy's sidekick?
Sure.
Okay. The popular guy always had like kind of the puppy dog sidekick person,
mm-hmm.
who was, by virtue of being in relation to the popular person, he was in the popular crowd and everything,
mm-hmm.
but he himself was certainly not popular, like in a real sense.
Mm-hmm. Like Bill Clinton with Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall to Bill Clinton.
Well, I didn't realize that they were like sidekicks.
They weren't sidekicks. They were sidekicks for only one instance. No, I know what we mean by the sidekick. It was just a ridiculous analogy. Is really what it came down to.
I'm trying to think of it. Well,
Yeah.
Didn't Clinton play the saxophone on Arsenio Hall's show?
Yeah, that was.
That's what you're talking about? Okay, yeah. No, exactly like that.
Exactly like that.
It's actually exactly like
spot on.
I think that kind of distinction though, because the popular person can't just be status quo. They have to excel or just be.
Yeah. They stand out. So we have confident.
Yes.
Attractive.
Yeah.
He's got to pull bitches. And individualistic person.
And affability.
Affability. Yeah, friendliness. Okay.
That makes you the most popular person I know?
Yeah.
If you use those.
If you use that criteria, I think I fit into that pretty well. I bring that up because randomly I was reading about how Pope Francis recently canonized both John Paul II and the Pope before him, I think it was Benedict the Fourth or something like that.
Okay, not the most recent Benedict.
Not the most recent.
Okay,
no.
But he canonized those guys.
That
must have been controversial.
I don't know if it was controversial. No, one aspect of it was controversial. They said because Francis and Benedict were on opposite sides of the political spectrum, so it was kind of like he canonized them as a political move to show that he embraces
John Paul.
Yeah, John Paul II and Benedict. He canonized both of them to show that he is not of a certain ilk.
Right. He's a man of the people.
Yeah. That's the way Francis has portrayed himself.
Really into the poverty.
Mm-hmm.
The holy poverty, vow of poverty, observation of, right? Isn't that kind of his bag?
Yeah, I think so.
And he's a cholo.
He's the social justice pope who's down with the people.
Down with poverty. He's a cholo.
He's a low. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from Brazil originally.
Is that where he's from?
I think so.
I remember Moff Gang saying, "We got a cholo for a pope." He called me. He goes,
"Yeah,
we got a cholo for a pope." And I actually remember before that when it was Benedict and this guy named Ed, call him Fast Eddie, or I called him Ed the Unemployee of the Month because he hung around this car a lot and didn't have a job there. Mm-hmm. But he was there every day of the week,
He's so good at being unemployed.
Yeah, he was the Unemployee of the Month.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. But he said he who was of German extraction and actually spoke fluent German, whatever. But he said when Benedict was elected, he goes, "We got a Nazi for a pup."
Wow.
Yeah,
that's extreme.
Technically true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Benedict was a member of the Hitler Youth because he was from occupied Poland.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is that what it was? Yeah,
that's right.
So, go figure, huh?
That's fascinating stuff.
Yeah, man. Where are you going to get the real truth? Where are you going to get the scoop behind the scoop?
Right here on the Geoff and Didi podcast.
Right here, man. We're not throwing.
We're not throwing softballs.
No, it's not powder puff journalism.
No. We give it to you real.
Real.
Like the Huffington Post or the Economist.
Yeah.
Without the liberal bias.
Yeah.
It's just fair and balanced.
Like reality. Yeah. Yeah, man. So,
what's up?
Let me ask you something, man. You tell me if you don't want to talk about it, but I understand you were on a hot date.
Oh,
hot date. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
And I got the impression that it went well.
It went well. We get along really well. I'm not incredibly into her. Mm-hmm. I mean, as far as just a sheer sexual attraction, chemistry right away.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
No, I mean, like, she's attractive. I'm down with her style. I'm not gaga. I hate saying that.
No, I get
but
you.
I'm not gaga.
Not head over heels, man. You're not.
No.
You're not doing the Looney Tunes thing where your jaw literally hits the floor and the ice pop out of your head and you go, ah, woo,
yeah.
Woo, woo.
Yeah. Although I get
terrifying if you did that.
Yeah.
If you did that, man, it'd be horrifying.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, I had because I recently fractured my thumb, and we were eating at an Italian restaurant.
On the date you did?
No.
What were you doing with it?
Oh, I was playing football and I fractured it.
Oh, okay.
And I had this kind of thing going where I was trying to eat, just cut my food or whatever with two hands.
Oh, yeah.
Without a thumb, and I kept slipping.
Oh, no.
It kept falling down.
This was on the date?
Yeah, it was on the date.
That didn't occur to me.
Yeah, we were eating at this nice Italian restaurant, and
did you have the what is that called?
It's a splint.
Splint. Did you have the splint on your thumb?
Yeah, I had the splint on my thumb,
man.
so it kept I kept dropping my silverware.
Yeah,
and it actually turned into this kind of cute thing.
No, I could see that. It made you
human.
It humanized you. It made you more approachable.
Yeah. No, we talked a lot about her job. She's an educator.
Yeah.
And she teaches 6th graders.
Whoa.
She really enjoys it. She loves it.
Yeah.
And I'm down with that.
Oh, sure.
I like a girl who really likes her job.
Yes.
And
has a good job.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about that. I mean, she's not, a waitress who's doesn't have any plans for the future.
Yeah. She has a legit career. She's been doing it for a while. I don't know exactly how many years, but
she age-wise, where is she?
She's 30.
I mean, in comparison to you,
she's a couple of years younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you think she's feeling your style?
I think so.
Really?
I think so.
What are the?
She was laughing at all my jokes, and she wasn't to the point where I feel like she's laughing at everything I do.
Yeah. No, right. I get you. She was laughing with you, not at you.
Yeah. Yeah. And other than that,
and not faking it either.
Not faking it.
Right.
Not faking it. And I've been on dates where they fake laugh.
They give you the courtesy, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, yeah.
No, she's got pretty eyes.
Oh, wow.
Pretty mouth.
Yeah.
She's kind of down to earth. Like, she didn't dress up the way I did for the date.
I was wondering about that. Now, you left for the date looking like... Actually, I don't think I was here, but when you actually left. Mm-hmm. But if you looked anything like you look a lot of mornings when you and I get coffee, you just look 10 out of 10, man. Knock him dead. I mean, just Didi is a guy, and if you don't know, Didi is a guy who his web browsers, his homepage is dressforsuccess.com. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
He's
Go
someone,
there and learn.
Yeah, he's just somebody who is, the phone company called him because they wanted to learn how to dial it in.
Oh,
like
yeah.
He had it all the time. So,
That was a good one, bro.
thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
Yeah, she showed up in a dress, but dressed, she wasn't dressed to the nines by
Does she
any
look like
means.
a dirty hippie?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay. In a dress,
In a dress.
but not
in a
dirty
dress,
hippie
makeup
stuff.
on,
Okay.
hair up.
Oh.
She didn't have a perm by any means, and she didn't have her hair done by a maid like, Lady Mary or
Oh,
anything.
man.
But,
Downton Abbey references.
if you didn't know, now you know.
But she was looking good.
She's looking good.
But not great, kind of.
She's not my dream girl,
Okay.
but I will certainly go on a date with her again. I like her.
Yeah. No, and that's fine, man. And, if I'll interject, man, I used to think you had to, if you didn't get tingles immediately when you saw a chick, then you just weren't going to be into her.
Yeah.
But I've had it work where you, grow into it. And I don't mean some bullshit arranged marriage, learn to love them kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, like, you know them personally. I used to think that was bullshit, man, where it was like, what do you think of them? I don't know. It's like, no, either you're on or you're off, But it turns out, you can not know, and then it turns out you're on.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. I've come to feel that way in the last couple of years, too.
Yeah.
If you find something in common with someone, it grows and it grows and it grows.
Your dick.
And your dick.
Yeah.
But no, you start to recognize things you have in common with someone, and before you may not have been as into them as you would have been.
Right.
When you start to learn about them more. And I think as we get older, we grow more patient with learning about other people. And on the other side, I think we grow more stubborn to things we already didn't identify with.
Mm.
But yeah, I feel like I've grown more patient, don't you? just...
Patient?
Yeah. With certain
in a lot
people,
of senses.
With certain people.
In a lot I'm worried I'm worried I'm losing. I'm becoming more ornery, I feel like. I know what you're talking about, but in some senses I feel like I'm becoming like less tolerant of stuff. Like I'm
Yeah. Me too.
Maybe I'm imagining that, but I don't know. There, in some senses at least, there's kind of, when I was a kid I didn't didn't know how to do anything. Mm-hmm. So like I was just looking around not knowing how to do anything, and so it's not like anyone annoyed me by not knowing what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But now I know how to do a few things, and when other people don't know how to do them as well as me, I'm frustrated. Mm-hmm. And if they know how to do them better, I'm jealous. Yeah.
It's like when we were playing putt-putt tonight, man. You were just dominating.
When you say putt-putt, what are you talking about?
Putt-putt golf. What's the name of the game? I don't even know.
I actually wrote it down. I did a Google Plus.
Basically, it's one of those, say you go to a bar and they have the buck hunter game where you're shooting for deer, or they have the punching bag where whoever punches it hardest has the biggest wang. Yeah. But then there's the putt-putt game where if you can picture it, it's like a cue ball, and you use your hand to roll forward and putt.
Like golden tee.
Yeah, golden tee.
Right, only this is putt-putt, which I like more.
I kind of do too, because I think the way that the graphics in the golden tee worked. Yeah. I think I was more a fan of. I'm more a fan of the putt-putt.
I don't like golfing, although putt-putt golfing is
it's not golf.
Accessible to me.
Yeah.
Because I'll will go putt-putt golfing. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go golfing though.
Yeah, golf's fun, man. But I'll play a game of putt-putt any day of the week, man. And you're like you said, it's more accessible. You don't have to go.
It's not like a day's activity. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was dominating tonight at the end there. Yeah. At the beginning, I was sucking up the place, but
I couldn't even tell you I remember that part, because what stuck out with me was the performance. Was the last performance.
The last performance was it was the kind of thing that erases everything that comes before and after. Mm-hmm. and it just kind of exists in the time continuum as one point.
Like the greatest trilogy of all time, the Matrix trilogy.
Yeah.
Soon as the Matrix trilogy was over and the machines technically won.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
Well, we don't know.
We're in the Matrix, so we don't really know that happened.
No.
However, I will say that when the Matrix trilogy was done, I feel like Back to the Future trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Godfather trilogy, none of those things ever happened.
The Jaws quintology. All of those. Well, they just kind of went by the wayside. And then similarly, the trilogies that have come, henceforth, like
the Spider-Man trilogy,
the Batman trilogy,
the Tobey Maguire, the Batman Christopher Nolan trilogy. That was a trilogy, but the Batman before that, where it went to Tim Burton, then it went to these other directors.
That wasn't a trilogy, no.
Yeah,
no,
yeah. That was just an amalgam of films, separate directors, separate actors.
All of those things. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the Matrix trilogy. Back to it. It was actually really terrible.
I like the part where they dodged the bullets in slow motion.
That was awesome.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I'll be honest though, the first Matrix movie.
Yeah.
As far as special effects go, it was pretty cool. Groundbreaking. But after that, it was all garbage.
Yeah. Well, you know what the Matrix. I didn't see. I didn't see the second two in their entirety.
Good for you.
But I saw the first one, and this is the problem with the Matrix movie. It's not anything wrong with the movie. It's the effect it had on the public. Because I found myself, and it's an old movie now, obviously, but I found myself surrounded by people whose inner philosopher was awoken, and all of a sudden they were trying to decide whether or not we really existed.
Yeah.
Whether the material world was real or not. And I think I was in my late teens or whatever. And, everyone was like, what if we're not really here?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, and maybe I just sound like an arrogant asshole, but it's like, I don't know. I thought about that when I was 13.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. To me, that's almost, I don't know, a coming of age, whatever. And so, it's like I'm stupefied, if that's a word,
Stupefied.
Stupefied?
Yeah. You were off by one letter, so.
Man. I don't know if it's the right word, but I think that's the word, stupefied, by the fact that the people around me had never wondered that stuff before. Like it took a Keanu Reeves movie.
I would have thought it would have taken a Gary Busey film.
Yeah.
All this time.
That's what did it for me, was Buddy Holly. When I saw that, boom. What's really good? What's real? What's not real? Every day, it's getting faster. Well,
love like yours will surely come my way.
I think so.
Hey, every day.
Don't want to take away from Buddy Holly. Great musician. Great
artist.
Yeah,
great artist.
You know what's cool? At the bar tonight, they played the Beatles' "Happiness Is a Warm Gun."
One of my favorite Beatles songs.
That's when I started turning it around on the putt-putt game.
Yeah.
That really, I think it was. I think that had a little bit of a psychic change. And a behavioral change. It just changed my outlook on the game.
Why do you suppose that is? Why was it that song?
Because it's a great song. You know what it was?
It's a good song.
It just helped me find my center. It's a great song, and then of course the build-up when it's, Mother Superior, jump the gun, and then at the end of that where there's that like guitar strum, and it goes, bring happiness, and a tempo change, so groovy.
And so like groovy. the Ronettes background vocals.
Ronette style, yeah. Yeah, bang, bang, shoot,
Yeah.
shoot. Happiness is a warm gun, baby. Yeah.
Gotta love the Beatles, man.
You got to love the Beatles.
And if you don't love the Beatles, you're just kind of a moron. I mean,
If you
they don't
love-
have to be your favorite band by any
No,
means, but you
no.
have to acknowledge.
No, yeah. No,
But it
you
was
just
pure
You don't
genius.
have to love the Beatles. You can go to North Korea and suck Kim Jong Un's cock.
Uh-huh.
Because you might as well.
You might as well.
You know, there's nothing more American than the British invasion. You know what I'm saying?
Man, if I could have lived in the 60s, though,
Yeah.
I have a feeling that I would have been this deadbeat poet.
Sure. Yeah,
I think
because
I
there was
would've-
no rap music, man.
There
So-
was no rap music, so
So you wouldn't have that artistic outlet to
No.
express yourself.
No. We should make some music, man. If anybody out there didn't know, Geoff
Yeah.
and Didi,
Yeah.
we make rap music, or we used to make rap music.
Right.
We've been on ridiculous dates where people have given us crap for being white rappers.
God. In this day and age.
This day and age.
Oh, I've got one for you. I've got one for you, man. I thought of this today because I was on I took a gal to a Mariners game. Great time. Had a great time. Mariners won. Outstanding game. Really exciting. And one thing led to another, but I was thinking to myself, you know what? Well, because there's things that offend people, then there's things that people are taught they're supposed to be offended by, or
Yeah.
you know, that they term it that. No, they're not really offended. Like it's not, like if I watched, something grotesque or something, it would offend my senses. Or if I heard somebody smearing my family, I would take, offense.
But if you heard someone smearing, a gay person, it might not offend you personally.
No.
But a lot of people feel obligated to.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, and I understand. Like, hey, okay, that's, what you're not offended. You're saying that you believe that that's offensive behavior.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, but I thought about this. And I thought about if I was a minority, right? Because that's the obvious question, right? Well, what if it was you, or what if, you know what I mean? Like, dude, if I was a minority, nobody that I talked to would ever hear the end of it, man. I mean, I would be sent like if I was fucking Chinese, if I was a Chinese American, I'd be like, dude, don't ever question that again, dude. I know the answers to anything mathematic. I'm Chinese. You know what I mean? If I was black, I would never say myself or me or I would always say my black ass. That's all. You know what I mean? Everything would be like, dude.
You're pulling the race card constantly.
Pulling the race car. Nobody would never, you know what I mean? Like you could hear me. You could see a transcript of what I said, and every paragraph of speech you'd be able to tell my ethnicity. Now, as it happens, I'm a white guy. It doesn't come up very often. But if I was a minority, you'd be hearing from me. You'd be hearing from me. I'd be like, do not get my black ass started on that subject. It's a little bit like the way if I was a British subject, if I or a English person, I would constantly be referencing things that belong to Her Majesty. I'd be like, what makes you think you can litter on Her Majesty's sidewalk? You know what I mean? Like every time I could work that in.
Each time.
Each time.
Except you'd be replacing with the words black ass.
It'd be like the same difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes
Or if I was English, I'd say, get your black ass off Her Majesty's sidewalk. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you
See,
mean.
and if I was black, I'd be like, man, these motherfuckers want to get my black ass off Her Majesty's sidewalk. I don't know. I would just blender it up, dude. But this is, the white man's burden, dude. I'm the straight man and all of that, We don't get to talk about how, dude, don't make me bust out my kung fu moves, bro. I'm from Beijing, or whatever.
Man.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
I'd never leave that alone.
Well, I am also not a minority. I don't know if I would do the same thing, but I have a feeling that I would probably fall into that mold because, I'm not saying that, minorities are essentially stigmatized or pigeonholed by any means, but at the same time, I do feel that they kind of get put into that.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, living up to their own image. Which is, it's not self-taught. I think it's inherent in society.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's this is not scientific, but in my job, because the government monitors lending, and so the when you take an application for a home loan, there's a part where you ask, you read this disclaimer, hey, that says essentially, hey, we encourage you to answer these questions, but you're not required to do so, and whatever you answer won't affect our decision to lend, but the government likes to monitor, whether, lending institutions are using fair practices. Mm-hmm. So then, you're supposed to ask, are you, male or female? Are you Hispanic or not Hispanic? Mm-hmm. Which of these ethnic groups would you describe yourself as belonging to? Or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Now, frequently, I just disregard it, right? If I'm sitting across the table from two white people from the white part of town, I just don't, because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear, likewise, I've done it before where I'll just I'm sitting across the table from a fucking black guy. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, there's no mystery, you know what I mean? And I'm frankly embarrassed to ask or whatever. But there have been times when I've, asked, and what I find is that, a couple times I've asked minority people the answer to that question. I think they're a little embarrassed, and they are completely deadpan serious and give you the straight answer. Mm-hmm. They don't smile or joke or anything. They just answer, and they're just a little embarrassed that they're being asked. But whatever, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But frequently you ask white people that question, mm-hmm. and they go, and always a joke, mm-hmm. and frequently you hear, especially women, they go, I just hate questions like that. It's like, really, you do? It's like that's like a bother. That's troublesome for you, mm-hmm. or you think that it's not. Anyway.
I guess I don't get. What does that have to do with?
What's my point?
Yeah.
Well, it's an unscientific example of. It's not like a scientific survey, obviously. Mm-hmm. My data collection, mm-hmm. but it seems to me that, I get the impression that. The rank and file minority people would just like to leave that out of the conversation. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what I mean? And it's elitists and activists and wackos mm-hmm. that want to bring it up and talk about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But the guy who gets up and goes to work every day, mm-hmm. he's not ashamed that he's black, mm-hmm. not particularly proud that he's black. He just doesn't, you know what I mean?
View it as an issue.
Yeah, he would love to believe that it's the same as, this guy's got long hair, short hair, blue eyes, brown eyes, whatever. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I feel you.
and then similarly, it's, white people think that, in some cases, white people think that they are obligated to make a statement about it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, I agree with you 100% that there are certain things that people just feel like they're supposed to be offended about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, and that was my point too, right?
And well, actually, you were talking about the Mariners game. Did this happen at the Mariners game? Did something happen?
Well, long story short was that I went with the gal that I work with, and the gal that I work with is fond. She's told me a number of times how she thinks I'm inappropriate and out of line and everything. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole different story because, I have a pretty decent on and off switch, despite what people think. Mm-hmm. And I have heard her say more out of line things than she's heard me say. Mm-hmm. And it's just that I don't know what her problem is that I don't know.
Maybe she's kind of projecting, like.
Well, no, she's a rude person, I think, a little bit.
Okay.
Like, she was with a group of us, and we went to a different ball game, minor league team ball game. We were there, and one of the guys coincidentally remembered that he was Catholic and that it was Friday or it was whatever, and so he handed this taco that he bought to the guy next to him, who I know. And that guy, there was two of them. He ate one of them and then handed me the other one. And I ate it, and it was a little bit gross looking on the plate. And there was, no plastic fork or knife. So, but you know what I mean? But I was hungry, and it tasted good. It was ballpark food, you know what I mean? And so I kind of scoop it up, and I'm eating it in a completely civilized way under the circumstances. And she was there, and she looked at me, and she goes, "That's disgusting." And it's like, I just think she's got bad manners. She doesn't know it's rude to look at someone who's eating and tell them they're disgusting or what they're doing is disgusting. And honestly, it'd be different if I was playing with my food or
you weren't at a ball game.
Or maybe that. I mean, so a little bit of a bitch, I think is the word.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's what made me think of that.
Gotcha. Now, you went to the Mariners game today.
Yeah.
And that's not the first Mariners game you've been to at Safeco Field.
It is not, although I think it was only my third, to tell you the truth.
You had some pretty good seats. I saw you posted on the interwebs.
Yes.
Where you were sitting in center field approximately.
No, not center field, the behind home plate.
Yeah, behind home plate.
But I know what you're thinking because I was centered in the field.
Yeah.
No, it was amazing. I was like right down I was on the second level or third level, whatever the hell. So I was a pretty good distance, but from my seats, my friend Chris actually, I think, posted on Google Plus that it looked like a video game.
Yeah.
Because it was the baseball diamond was completely centered with me up a long ways, but directly behind home plate. So they ended up being good seats.
Yeah.
Too much money.
Yeah, the Safeco games cost a lot of money.
They're too expensive. Her and I went, bought tickets up there. We didn't pay a surcharge, like you do buying your tickets through online before the game sometime, whatever. But like our seats, which were a little bit nosebleeds, I want to say were $36 a piece. And seats much closer. I mean, seats that would have been like we get going to a Tacoma Rainiers game for $11, right? I don't expect them to be $11 at Safeco with the Mariners, whatever. But those seats were like $75.
Yeah. That's absurd.
That's too much money. Come on, man. That's not.
Yankees.
And I laughed out loud too because we walked in the ballpark. I bought her a beer and I bought myself I said, okay, and I knew I'm going to get raped, but here we go. I go, a bottle of water and because we rode the bus up, a bottle of water and then a Pepsi, large Pepsi, and so the guy rings it all up and he sells me this cup, which is in front of us as we talk. That is a kind of little collector's cup, but the pitch is it costs $10, but you can refill it all game long. And so I said, okay, ironically thinking that I was going to refill it. I never did, but bottle of water, the beer, and this cup. What do you think that cost me at the ballpark?
$27.
It cost $25 American.
Jeez, man.
He said that to me.
That's ridiculous.
He said to me, and I just laughed. And what did he say? I literally laughed out loud. Not because I was trying to be a dick, you know what I mean? I wasn't giving him shit.
Yeah. You're just kind of shocked.
I was like, that's why they call it tourist trap. You know what I'm saying? Not just a tourist attraction. It's like, nope, are you thirsty? That's going to cost you $25.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, man. The game of baseball. The game of baseball, Ray. No, the game of baseball, though, I really do think it's special. It creates the tendency in an American person to talk, and it's sort of a cathartic environment where you can sit there with, your pals, watch the game, and just talk about things that you wouldn't normally talk about. unlike any other sport.
Yeah.
Unlike football, unlike soccer, unlike the NBA. That's basketball. Tennis.
Yeah.
NHL hockey.
Shot put,
golf. No, I think baseball is my favorite sport for that reason.
Man, yeah. I do too. I just enjoy the shit out of the game of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And I just decided this year I'll be a baseball fan. and it's really been fun, man. It's really been fun. Hell, that's my fourth professional baseball game I've been to this season.
Yeah.
Between AAA and the majors, but and then of course in the great city of Tacoma, Washington, man, we have the privilege of having our AAA farm team and our major league team be 45 minutes apart from each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's badass, man. A lot of teams don't have it like that.
Yeah, aren't some teams out? I mean, they're not even in the same state.
Absolutely not. Well, the Tacoma team, the Tacoma Tigers, were the Oakland Athletics farm team.
Yeah.
So they were 2 states away.
Yeah.
And it's still like that,
Mm-hmm. Every day.
Every day, in every
day.
way. Taking
Things
care of
getting
business.
closer. We're going back to Buddy Holly now.
Oh, yeah, every day. Yeah. But I'm enjoying the game of baseball. I wasn't going to talk about my evening with that gal, but that was just kind of, I don't know why somebody would be rude other than they're just maladjusted to interactions with people.
Well, I mean, if she's so rude, then, I agree with you that from what you've told to me about her, she's very rude.
Mm-hmm.
But, what was the impetus for you guys hanging out?
Yeah, exactly.
There's sort of that unspoken antagonism between you.
Interestingly, that goes back to we were talking a little bit earlier about not knowing whether or not you're into a girl.
Yeah.
I was doing that, I was like, well, maybe, and
yeah.
Like maybe
I've done that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And to tell you the truth, it's, even more accurately, it's like, might I get laid out of this? That's is that a potential outcome of this? Upon arriving home, where you and I hooked up, and we hooked up with Hardcore Nasty and went
played putt-putt like some blokes.
Like some bitch-ass coleros. But when I got home, the words that were running through my head were, I'd like to find a fucking girl that is, I'll settle for a chick that isn't remotely sexy if she could fucking act sexy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, or just, know how to act like a fucking girl.
Like a lady.
Yeah.
Actually, that was, just to go back very quickly, that's my one qualm with this new girl. She's not ladylike enough.
No.
Enough.
It's really, it's fucking obnoxious.
Yeah.
It's fucking obnoxious. And I'm not, I don't know. Certainly, I'll tell you this, women are certainly judging me or measuring me, if you will, which you better bring a motherfucking tape measure, you know what I'm saying? But no, they're certainly taking my size, if you will, in the direction of, is this dude enough of a man? Is he manly, or is he, fucking that's, if you're a fly on the wall, man, you'll hear that a girl doesn't like a guy who's a wimp, you know what I mean, or whatever, or as my sister-in-law would say, a faggot.
Speaking of words like faggot, did you hear about the NBA, the owner of the Clippers, that made some racist comments to his girlfriend?
Yes, I heard. I don't know a ton about that. I did hear some. Yes. Mm-hmm. I was actually talking. I think I talked about that on Andrew Rex's podcast just the other day.
Oh, Andrew X does a podcast?
Andrew X, man. Verbal Sex with Andrew X.
Oh.
I've had the privilege of being a guest twice now.
Should I check it out?
No. Yes.
No.
Yes. No, you definitely should. It's really, really cool. I like I like the ones that I'm not on.
Oh, okay. I was just, I figured you were going to say I like the ones that I'm on only.
Yeah.
But no, you just took it in an entirely
It's
different direction.
I zigged. You thought I was going to zag, and I zigged.
Yeah.
But no, what were we just saying? The Clippers?
The Clippers.
Is that the owner? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. No, my understanding was he said he was telling his girlfriend, hey, to boil it down, quit posting pictures of yourself and black guys on social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's essentially what it was.
That's what it was.
Something to the effect of no photos on social media and don't associate with them in public, I think was... I don't think he said don't do it in public. I think he said don't publicize it. Yeah,
I mean, the little snippet I heard.
Yeah.
You know, and I told, I'll tell you what, man. It does bother me at all.
Oh, it doesn't affect me in the very least.
I mean, and she's totally baiting him. Like, I heard a little bit of the tape. She's baiting him, and she's saying, why do you have so much hate in your heart and everything like that? And, she's full of fucking shit. Mm-hmm. And you can say what you want about him, I mean, he's, maybe he's an asshole or whatever is wrong with him. I'm not, I might call him an idiot, except that he's filthy rich, so it's theoretically, he could have just inherited it, whatever, or maybe he's kind of a boss, but in any event, like, I think a guy has a right to ask his girlfriend, hey, it would make me happy if you didn't do this, and she has a right to say, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's really not appalling to me. Mm-hmm. If I learned that, if I learned, for example, that Jews were encouraging their children to not marry Gentiles, I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jews do encourage their kids to not marry Gentiles. Mm-hmm. It's a completely normal.
They do it in
public
their wills.
Practice. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do it in their wills. My child will only inherit from me if he marries a Jewish girl.
Right.
No, it happens all the time. It's just people get scrutinized.
Well, and you can't be,
differently.
No, you can't be. And then, of course, no, I didn't hear. To be fair, I didn't hear his rants and remarks. I mean, he might have gone on to, use the N-word. And
well, usually Geoff and Didi are very thorough, and we give you the hardcore facts. But
yes.
Right now, we're just kind of giving you the gist.
Yes.
Just maybe.
We're just gisting all over you right now.
We're giving you the gist and juice.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, I mean, I feel like racist comments or racial epithets, using them to denigrate people, it's bad. You shouldn't do it.
Right.
But I do feel that maybe it's taken out of context.
Well, I don't think he did. I don't think he used any racial epithet. I don't know.
He did. No, I know. I'm just saying that kind of commentary about a person saying someone shouldn't affiliate with another race. I mean, it's inherently prejudicial to say that.
Naturally,
but I do think it's easier to take public figures out of context when you just have a 9-minute snippet of something.
Right. So
I don't know. I don't want to rush to judgment and call the guy a racist and a bigot.
Well, he was set up too. I mean, it's not like there was a.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, where'd the recording come from?
I don't know.
I mean, I think it's him and her on the phone. So I mean,
really, the sound quality of it it sounds like they're in a room together or something. It almost sounds like it was taped.
Right.
Which, it sounds.
Well, I mean, it was set up by. I mean, he was set up by somebody.
Yeah.
Clearly,
yeah.
I mean, somebody recorded a private conversation and then sold it to TMZ.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if anything, it's just surplusage. It's unnecessary. I mean, for it to come out, this woman obviously has a vendetta,
right?
But we don't need to have a discussion about race because of this tape.
Yeah.
So much as we need to have a discussion about Hollywood.
Well, and I would really, yeah. See, I would really delineate between somebody's preferences, bigoted or not, prejudiced or not, racist or not. You know what I mean? I would delineate between that and oppression. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, and
absolutely.
and nobody is directly calling it some kind of oppression or whatever, but that's what the subtext is just another rich guy keeping the black man down or something like that, you know. And the reality is the guy. It's not like he doesn't know anything about black people. You know what I mean? It's not that he hasn't ever met them. You know what I mean? He, he employs a lot of them, right? If that, and the guy's, formed his opinions, and he might be an idiot, but aren't we entitled to be idiots if we want to be?
Sure.
Sure. I don't know. No, and likewise, I mean, people can boycott him. His players can say, we're not going to play on your team. I mean, all of that is fair. That's all fair. But, just a witch hunt.
Yeah, totally. And I think a lot of times when stuff like this happens, you remember when the whole Mel Gibson thing happened?
Yes.
And when the Michael Richards, Kramer from Seinfeld, when that happened?
Absolutely.
I mean, I do feel that these things come up and they're used as catalysts for a discussion of race.
Oh, I know.
And I mean, I think it's I personally feel that it is kind of unfortunate that it takes things like that to get people to discuss race or bring up poverty or bring up whatever.
Right.
It has to be this extreme event.
Right.
That makes us do that.
Well, I don't know. And
I know your thought is, why do we need to have a discussion about it?
Yeah. I was going to say, do we need to have a discussion?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Here's the thing, like, because I'm a product of the public school system, in my area, and you were taught that racism is wrong and Martin Luther King is the kind of the icon for anti-racism, and he's the good guy and racists are the bad guys. And the assertion, I think, is that racists are ignorant and evil people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And then you grow up and you're out in the world, and it's kind of like, well, define ignorance, and define evil. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I think it's funny that we allow, well, I mean, we have to make up our mind about, do we want to talk about race or don't we? I think.
Totally. Totally.
Like, Al Sharpton might tell me we need to have a discussion. What's so funny?
No. Just
we need to have a discussion.
I pictured him saying that. That's all.
We need to have a discussion. We need to have a discussion. I don't mean me personally, but we need to have a discussion. But what about? But then, you know what I mean? How many times I've seen a speaker, like a conservative, someone speaking in a college setting, and they try to say anything about, I mean, they even, they try to say anything or reference minority peoples, including, I mean, one example I'm thinking of is there's this Asian chick who's a Fox News conservative, kind of a pundit or something, but she was, and, call her an intellectual or whatever she is, but she was at university talking, and some, like, guy who appeared to be black, was challenging her in some way. And she said, well, let me, frame it like this. She says, I mean, I assume you're someone of a minority group or something like that. And he goes, oh, no, don't bring that into it. Don't talk about that. you don't have the right to talk about that, or you know what I mean? So, you know, do we want to talk about it, or do we not want to talk about it? And I think I think I think it was Pat Buchanan actually wrote an article about, absolutely we need to talk about it. We need to have a two-way talk.
A frank discussion.
We need to have a two-way talk. We don't need to have a talk, another talk where minority people talk and white people listen. We need to have a talk where we say, oh, okay, I see. That's how you feel.
Yeah. Respectfully, I disagree.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Now I'd like to talk to you about, you know, your joblessness, your, you know, out of completely disproportionate crime rates, your completely disproportionate destroyed families. I mean, you know what I mean? Can we talk about, I forget, statistics, something to the effect of, you know, like, I want to say like 80% of 18-year-old black men are unemployed or something like that.
80% or 18%?
No, 80%.
80%?
It's like something insane like that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, 17% of like, 17% of, you know, white high school graduate 18-year-olds are unemployed or something like that. And like 80% of,
wow.
Something like that.
I'd have to look into it.
Yeah, no. And obviously, you know what I mean, unchecked statistics are not good evidence, but my brother found that statistic, or so I'm just not remembering it right. There's not a doubt in my mind that the statistic was accurate.
It's
you know,
exponentially higher.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the crime statistics are absolutely appalling. You know, like, you know, whatever, like violent crime. Like violent crime is if you adjust for the amount of violent crime that's committed by black, crime is mostly interracial or you know, whatever. It's black on black, white on white, Asian on Asian, literally, right? Crime tends to, like, the myth that like white people are attacking black people is just nonsense. It isn't true. Like, if people wanted to talk about it with the Trayvon Martin thing or whatever, the statistics, you know, there's very little cross-race violent crime. When there is, I mean, the biggest group of violent crime is black on black crime. And when you factor that black people make up some 17% of the American population or something, that's atrocious.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, you know. But then as far as interracial crime, the largest group, admittedly a small percentage of crime is interracial violent crime, but the largest of that group is black on white crime. Black on white. Yeah. Huh. Of course it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, of course it is. But again, like, you know, but there's no, we don't teach that kids that in school. I don't think that we necessarily should, but we might not want to teach them about the KKK lynching black people anymore. Or because it's not happening anymore. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. And it's like, you can find a hate crime. You know what I mean? You can find them. Hell, 5 of them happen every year, you know, or whatever. But it's not a systemic problem. It's not a fucking systemic problem. What you have now in today is a whole bunch of fucking white people walking around being terrified that they could be construed as racist. That's what you really have. Totally. You know what I mean? You don't, I mean, or you get the, you know, radical white supremacist groups who are just like this, you know, I mean, they're vastly less common than, you know, militant Muslim groups or something like that. I mean, they're not like any kind of realistic presence. You know what I mean? Like, they don't do anything. They don't get talked about. You don't hear about them in the media. Well, you might, but it's isolated. And you don't hear about it in the same way that you hear about militant Islamist groups. Well, no, but I mean, you know, you know, the Southern Poverty Law Center and the ACLU, the Anti-Defamation League, you know, they keep close tabs on them. And it's like, you know, there are these groups of, you know, 50 people here or 28 people here. You know what I mean? It isn't like some, you know, whatever. South's not going to rise. You know, there was a time I heard that, like, 1 in 5 American men were members of the KKK or something. I want to say like in the turn of the century time or something like that.
Wow.
But I mean, I think at least partially that might have been the product of, it was, you know, like they were like Masons or whatever, you know. Maybe I'm full of shit, but.
Well, I mean, for our hundreds of listeners out there, I think if you guys want to fact check us on that, I'd be interested to know what the percentage of white people were in the KKK at the turn of the century.
No, I did. I learned that one in school. It's like some alarming amount, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
1 in 5 is that's a big number,
right?
So,
yes, it is. But you know.
So you've got your work week coming up. I've got my work week
around that time. Around that time, probably 85% of the men in the country were white Protestants.
Yeah.
Too. You know what I mean? So it's like it was a different fucking time. But anyways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now most of the white men are Buddhists.
Yes. Yes.
Buddhism is making a huge comeback. I'm just saying.
Oh man, on the online dating thing.
Yeah, hit me with it.
I came across. I think I came across a white chick whose religion or whatever they call that section, was Buddhist.
Was Buddhist?
Yeah.
Is she cute?
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah.
Does
she also enjoy wine and yoga?
Huge fan of wine and yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Go figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to rub my belly. You know what I'm saying?
You wanted her soul to transubstantiate into your lap.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make her one with everything. Everything being my dick.
My dick. Everybody, thanks for listening tonight. Geoff and Didi Podcast is hereby signing off, but we want everybody to know out there that we think this is going to be a good week for you. And smack an ass if you see one.
Yo, here come, I tell you. Well, first you hear about me word of mouth, and then I come so fly that all the Tweety birds fly south. Just to escape that impending doom, public funds got the fans, and they always fill the room. What the hell is well as parking lots out back? We own the key to the city, plus our pictures on a plaque. What city am I speaking of? Well, let me try to recall it. See, it starts with a tree, and it's got its own mall. Tacoma is my town. Forget about the news, the bun is how you get the lowdown. Low down like the sounds of a wood TV bass. Put my styles on mics cause they're just too good to waste. I'm the bastard that's wicked like disaster. And on top of all that, I'm a ceremony master in the bun. And people try to bite us. But you see, we got so much appeal that your grandmas like us. Old people come to nursing homes in wheelchairs. Little kids so fast, forget the bears seen bears. Everyone's at the bun show like the Olympic Games. So them they can't walk, so they walk with canes. Cause the bun's for everyone, not just kids like tricks. We began